everyone, and welcome to another episode of AndersMill Knits. I'm your host, Emily, and you can find me on Instagram as akamillie907 and on Ravelry as akamillie. And boy howdy, do we got some shine going on that broad forehead, huh? Whew! Well, happy belated Thanksgiving. I'm coming to you from the Monday after Thanksgiving, and happy almost December 1st, which means on December 1st, I can start opening my 24 Days of Cheer swap packages. I'm so excited about that. Let's see, what else do I want to talk to you about? Well, let's just say I hope that you all had a marvelous Thanksgiving and that it was full of cheer and love and safety. Jeremy and I did stay home here at the house, and I made the full turkey dinner from start to finish, and I'll put in a picture of that here for you. And that was the first time I'd ever done that in my life. I mean, I'd helped make turkey dinner, and at one point in my first marriage, or my last, whatever, it was my only marriage, I did make a semblance of a turkey dinner, but my ex was very picky about food, and so I think I had like a turkey breast and then whatever else crap that he said that he would eat. Mostly stuff that I wouldn't eat. But this time was all about the comfort and the tradition, which I guess is tradition for my family. So I made the full-blown turkey, which was scary. Holy crap, was that scary and really involved. And let me just say that I never want to clean another turkey again. That made me almost gag well, no, I did gag. Made me almost do the other thing quite a few times. My sisters and I are very sensitive when it comes to handling things like raw meat. And so at my entire family, we've got this thing about meat where it's very difficult for us, except for my mom, but it's generally very difficult for us to eat meat, especially meat if we've processed it and cooked it. We just don't like to know where it comes from. And here I want to be a farmer. Whatever. But let me just say the one part where I had to stick my hand inside to clean and then to prep everything and feeling the sharpness of the bones on the inside. Oh! And I had to wear protective gear, and I'll tell you why in a minute. Most of you probably already know. But making the whole turkey dinner, so we had stuffing, well, dressing, because I didn't put it in the bird, because I don't like stuffing in the bird. Even though my mom makes amazing stuffing. It's just, it's hard for me to eat it when it's been inside that crevice. Ugh. I made an apple crisp for Jeremy. I don't generally like things like crisps or pies, unless it's a savory pie. I generally just don't like those things. Very un-American, I know. But I made him a crisp. I made my dad's cheesy mashed potatoes, which were freaking amazing. Best dish of the meal. Well, okay, maybe their turkey was, because man, my turkey was succulent. It was good. It didn't look the greatest in my opinion, but it was delicious. Let me see. We had gravy, dressing, the green bean casserole, which is generally my favorite side dish. However, it was super salty this time, and I guess maybe I was told that I think I put too many of the onion crumbly bits on top, and that's what made it so salty. Could probably be. And then let's see, rolls. I think that's it. I think so. I think I got it all. I missed having a salad. I wish I would have put a salad out. That would have been great. Oh, corn, obviously. Yeah. So Jeremy and I just had that, and then we did our whole, like, you know, Thanksgiving conversation of what we're grateful for with each other, and we were very sappy about it, as, you know, lovebirds are. And I had a crying bout earlier that day, you know, because I miss my family desperately. Like my sister, one of my sisters lives here in town. I've seen them maybe twice since March. My other sister lives in the valley, which is about an hour's away from us, and I haven't seen her since COVID started, so since March, and I really miss them. But, you know, we all wanted to be safe. My dad's going in for surgery in a few days, and so we wanted to be really careful for his health's sake. And so, plus Anchorage is going into hunker down again, starting tomorrow, Tuesday, the December 1st, until the end of the year. We're going into hunker down. And people around here are angry about this. Or just period angry in general. People have, ever since, I would probably say ever since the election, people have been pretty darn angry around here. Now, this is a red state. I'm blue. I'm more independent than blue, but, you know, I register as blue. And so, you know, it was a hard loss for this state, I think. Not for me, but for the state in general. And I don't know, I just, ever since then, people have been super cranky, really just not nice to each other. And I mean, I have a friend who got honked at and literally followed that person home to their driveway to yell at them and ask them, why the hell did you honk at me? And I'm like, what? You did what? You know, and those kinds of stories are not uncommon right now. So it's been, I mean, it's been pretty stressful around these here parts. Then, you know, it was also, Thanksgiving was also pretty difficult for me because, you know, that was the day, it was 2 weeks after my wedding, and we were back in Portland for my first marriage, and that was the day the physical abuse started. And so I had lots of nightmares around that, and been having lots of nightmares and not been sleeping very well due to, you know, like being triggered and to past traumas around that. And so Jeremy was very loving and very caring, very patient, just there for me the whole time, and it was just absolutely wonderful. And I felt really bad because I didn't want to ruin his Thanksgiving, but there you go. And I don't think it was ruined at all. So we just had a great time. We went for a walk, we played games, learned cribbage, which, boy howdy, cribbage is hard. Cribbage is hard. I did not realize how hard cribbage was. Not sure that that's going to be a game we play regularly, but I've been wanting to learn how to play it for years now, and I finally got Jeremy to do it with me Thanksgiving evening, so that was lovely. Then, besides from that, things have been around here, not so much knitting has been going on because this doesn't look bad now. I mean, actually, there's no scars at all now on that you can see on the back of my finger, but Watson did bite me. He locked his jaw on my finger about 10 days ago, and it was pretty nasty. We had to go to not emergency. We had to go to urgent care. I had to take antibiotics. They don't think it was necessarily, you know, infected with the oozing stuff, but it was pretty darn scary for a while there. And it's been healing like gangbusters though. Like, I've been so blessed. But it was impossible for me to knit because I did have my hand bandaged up pretty dramatically for about a week there, and then now I'm down just to the band-aid, and I can knit a little bit using this finger, but generally, and this is my dominant finger when I'm knitting, so that is kind of difficult. So I've been trying to use my middle finger, which has been a little bit awkward, but at the same time, I've gotten some knitting in. And my hand kept on just getting really tired after a while, so I couldn't do much. So there's not going to be as much knitting content, although I think I did pretty good considering. But Watson is doing well. It turns out he had a yeast infection as well as a rash, and we think a different bacterial infection, but the doctor wasn't sure. So he had to go on steroids for about 6 days, and he's still on antibiotics, and he's on a medicated bath treatment with medicated soap and everything. And so he gets a bath twice a week right now with this medicated soap. In fact, he just had one this morning, and he's been doing so much better. I just, you know, I hadn't realized how cranky and off of the Watson that I know and love he had gotten. And now he's back to that loving, beautiful dog that he is. And it's just so much better. And yes, this really did mess up our relationship for a good couple days because it was incredibly scary for all of us concerned. You know, Jeremy had to literally pry Watson's mouth open off of my finger. Jeremy then got nipped a little bit too, and that wasn't great for him either. But the main thing was, is like Watson has never bitten me like that before. He's, you know, given me little nips here and there to just kind of say that he's not happy, but never anything to even leave a mark, let alone hurt me like this. And so it was quite traumatic for me. I cried pretty much the entire day that happened. And, you know, Jeremy really struggled with his trust and loving relationship that he developed with Watson for quite a few days after that, because, you know, he saw that as, you know, Watson had hurt the woman that he loves. And, you know, generally speaking, if something like that happened, I don't know that you would necessarily keep the dog, but I mean, Watson's 12. He's been with me since he was 1. He's my heart and soul besides some Jeremy and my family, and he's my baby boy, you know. I don't know that I can ever have children, and Watson's the closest I'll ever get, which is, you know, probably not the wisest thing to say or to put your animal in that frame reference, but, you know, so, you know, I literally cannot imagine my life without him. So, yeah, so, you know, we did a lot of stuff to try and regain that loving relationship, and we've re-evaluated our parameters about boundaries and what Watson is allowed to do and what he isn't allowed to do. We're back up to giving him daily walks, and at minimum, sometimes he gets 2 a day now. I don't know how long that will keep up, but like this morning I took him for a walk and I had to carry him for at least 1/3 of it because his poor paws were so cold. I do have booties for him. I was lazy this morning and didn't want to put them on because it was in the pre-dawn. I was tired and I had a lot to do today, and so I was just like, I just want to get the walk done so that I can get the bath done so then he can be all done. But yeah, ended up having to carry him for about 1/3 of it because his poor feet were so cold. So that's why there might not be as much knitting content or progress, I should say. But as to that, why don't we get into that, okay? So on Thanksgiving Day, finger be darned, this was the first time I was going to attempt knitting because I traditionally always have a Christmas sock cast on, whether it's a Christmas colorway or just a sock that I want to have done for Christmas for myself or a loved one. Actually, I think it's always been for myself. And so so Thanksgiving Day, I decided I'm going to go ahead and start knitting. And so I cast on the Heel Toe Do-Si-Do or something like that pattern from the Crazy Sock Lady in the Lucky Dog yarn in Christmas Confetti colorway. Isn't that beautiful, guys? I love it. And, you know, the Heel Toe Do-Si-Do pattern is, you know, what's her name? Is it Kay? Of Crazy Sock Lady. I know she designed it for self-striping yarn, but this is a variegated, which strangely enough, it's because of the pooling, it almost looks self-striping, but it's so beautiful. So I'm hoping that comes out clearly. But it's a chevron design, and I ended up doing 20 twisted rib, 1x1 twisted rib rows up here, and I just went to 4 inches. Oh, and I modified it so that because she has it the chevron only repeating on the front of the sock, and at least for the leg of the sock I wanted it on both sides, and so I went 4 inches total, and then I put in a marker. Wait, no, I didn't. I went 4 inches total, and then I continued doing the pattern on the front, but stopped doing it on the back in prep for the heel. And then I put in a Fish Lips Kiss heel, and this indicates when the Fish Lips Kiss heel starts right there, which I believe started at 4.5 inches. So now I've got that done, and I got that all done, and I'm on the foot of the sock. Literally, I think I've done 1 round since the heel. And what this will do is it will continue to be the pattern on the top of the foot and straight stockinette stitch for the bottom of the foot. And I think, I mean, it's beautiful, right? To me, I don't know if this is what she meant, but to me, these colorways represents a really bright, acidy Christmas tree, which is beautiful to me. And then the lights, the colored lights on the Christmas tree with the, I mean, she calls it confetti, but the speckles, that's the word. I just love it. And I love how it's coming out. So I'm very excited about this. And so I finished the heel last night around midnight. I might have stayed up a little late. Oh, and I'm knitting this on 64 stitches around because that's what the pattern called for. So you could do 56 stitches or 64. There wasn't a 60 inch. And so I was fine with that. Usually I knit my socks 60 inches around, at least for me. And that's a perfect circumference for me and I think all of my sisters and mom. So that's usually what I do. But I figured on this one, the pattern is pulling inwards. As you can see, the pattern pulls inwards. And so I was like, okay, this will still fit. This should still fit. So I'm very happy with that. And I'm knitting those on US size 1s, I believe. Might be 0s, but I'm not sure. Because I usually do 0s, to be honest. And then the other sock that I'm knitting on is still Jeremy's sock. This has maybe gotten I'm not even sure if it's gotten any since I last recorded. I think it has. I think I've knit some of the foot. Now Jeremy's a size 13.5, almost a size 14, and I think I measured it this morning. I'm at 6.5 inches on the foot from the seam of the Fish Lips Kiss heel. From this seam to the end, I believe. And I think I need to go to 9 inches and then start the toe decrease. I believe that's what I had determined. But I'm gonna have to look up what I wrote on my camera, which is on my, on my notes, which is on my phone, which is currently being used as my camera, so I can't look it up, so there you go. But I am knitting this in the AKTIV socks, Super Garn. And colorway is 4478. And there you go. It's knitting up just like it shows in the picture there. So I'm very happy with this. I hope Jeremy will be too. He did pick out this sock for him. I'm noticing I use a lot of these colors for him that are a little bit more scratchy for his feet. So his next pair of socks, I want to be more of my luxurious yarn instead of the hard wearing yarn. And last night I was watching an episode of the Edwardian Farm, and they were out on the ocean and they were all wearing these beautifully hand knit fisherman sweaters out on the Devon coast. And I just thought, you know, Jeremy goes fishing with his dad and brother and uncle a lot during the summertime, and it can get pretty cold out there. So I'm like, maybe I want to knit him a fisherman's sweater come, I don't know, January, February-ish. We have to talk about that. So we will talk about that in just a minute, but about plans for the new year. Then finally, the last thing that I cast on, this was right before I got hurt with Watson in the finger, and so I haven't done anything at all. And for some odd reason, I was having a really hard time with this cast on as far as my, what did they call it? Corrugated rib, I think it's called. Yes, corrugated rib. So my pattern for so this is Jeremy's stocking up here, and he got the fresh pine. That was Jeremy's, and his is all done up, and mine is going to be the Snowy Mountain stocking. Now this is a paid for pattern by She Thinks She Can, and this was our featured designer in November. So I did actually get a pattern done for that, for the 12 gift knit socks in November. It's been quite a few months since I've gotten one done. But I've been having a hard time with the corrugated ribbing, and I think I finally got it figured out, and then I got bit. So I literally have like the cast on and maybe 2 rows. Maybe. I'm not even sure I got 2 rows. And yeah, apparently I stopped 8-10 stitches into a round. Why, Emily? Why? I don't know. But I have almost determined that instead of the contrasting green, I'm gonna do the gray that the pattern calls for. Pretty much decided that. So we'll see. So I'm knitting these all out of Knit Picks palette. So we've got the natural in the white. We've got the pimento in the red. And then, oh crap, I always forget what this one's called. Ah, Ivy in the green. And that was for Jeremy's. And so my contrasting might be the ash colorway, which is too far away for me to grab at the moment, even though it's really close, but it's still too far. And I've got this in my beautiful last year's Christmas 24 Days of Cheer project bag that I've got. And then the last thing that I've knit a little bit on, like say 2 or 3 rows. Oh, no, don't tell me I stopped in the middle of a row again. I did. Oh my gosh. This is a pattern by Helen Stewart. It's her blanket pattern that all of a sudden I've forgotten the name of. And again, it's on my phone, so I can't look it up. But I'm knitting this out of my Happy Everything and Merry Everything and Happy in July swap package. Again, it's off the same premise as we're doing for the 24 Days of Cheer, only we're doing that in July. So 24 minis and then a big skein if you choose to opt into the big skein, which actually I don't know that anybody doesn't opt in for the big skein, because who wouldn't want on the 25th day of the season to have a big skein to open? So I've done that. I've did a couple rows of this month, and it's been just unraveling. And I've just been going according to the days that they were wrapped. And it doesn't matter if the colors make sense next to each other or not. I want the memory to be that this was the progression of day 1, day 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I think I'm on day 10. And I really, really, really wish I had this done, because what I really want to do right now is tomorrow, when it's day 1, I want to be opening this and knitting this into this blanket, because my goal is to knit all 24 from July for the first half of the blanket, and the second half would be all 24 from 24 Days of Cheer to be the decreasing side of the blanket. But not to be. So I don't know, I might just no, I am sticking with that. It's just sadly I won't be knitting it in real time, if that makes sense. And this blanket is in the project bag that I got with that as well for my Happy Everything and Merry in July. No, Merry Everything and Happy in July. And I love this bag. I love it so much. So all of my minis from the 24 Days of Cheer, once I open each day up, what I plan on doing starting tomorrow is opening it up, admiring it, oohing and awing, maybe taking a picture to post on Instagram, putting it back in this bag, in the bag that it came in, which is so, I love how she packaged these, how Shauna packaged these, and then putting them into my bag here so that when I'm done with the first half of the blanket, I can immediately go into the second half of the blanket. Oh, I shouldn't put that in there yet because I want to open it. So that's that plan. Then the next thing that is in the planning stage, I've got a couple things. The first one is a sweater for Watson. And I think I've determined that Watson may be allergic to wool. So I want to knit him a sweater with cotton. And I was waiting for this cotton to come from a friend of mine, Jamie, who is the maker of M1 yarns in, oh my gosh, Jamie, where are you at? All of a sudden I lost it. She is in Michigan. The M1, get it? I should know that. Anyway, but I downloaded and I had Jeremy print this off for me, the Perfect Fit Top-Down Dog Sweater Pattern Generator. And this is a pattern that it's free, and you literally take the measurements as directed in the pattern. Like for instance down here, and you can do any weight yarn too. So it's a completely customizable pattern. So I'm gonna take the measurements of his neck, his rib cage, and between his front legs, and then also the circumference of his front leg at the very top base of the leg. I'm gonna put all those measurements in there. And depending on my gauge as well, I will, I mean, look at all this math. I don't want to bring it up there, but she's got a lot of math going on. But I am going to be casting this on for Watson and hoping that will also help him as well. And then I want to make some macrame ornaments for my family for Christmas. I got them something else. Everybody's getting pretty much the same thing. The only thing that's going to be customized is the ornaments. I'm not sure that I'm going to do the same ornament for everyone, or if I should do the same ornament for every family so that everybody knows, oh, this is the ornament we got in 2020. I don't know. Anyway, so I got some supplies that literally came right before I started recording from Amazon for macrame. So I got this huge spool of macrame yarn, or rope is what I prefer to call it. And then I got this kit of macrame starters, and it comes with yarn, beads, ceramic beads, wooden beads, dowels, and wooden rings. But then also I didn't think it would come with enough wooden rings for my ornaments, so I ordered a package of wooden rings as well. And I've been watching quite a few crafters, macrame artists on YouTube. There's so many beautiful, like, just tapestries in general going on, tutorials, but also in particular Christmas ornaments going on that I'm so excited about. So I want to get into that. And I had ordered it almost immediately after I hurt my finger, thinking that, oh, I could do this while my finger heals. And then the package just kept on getting delayed and delayed and delayed. And you know, that's a part of living in Alaska. I mean, I'm in Anchorage, so I think it's even faster for me to get it than most places in Alaska. But for me, like, it was about almost 2 weeks that it took to get that. And you know, down in the lower 48, you know, you're looking at most a week. At most! So, yeah. But I have it now, and I plan on casting them on. And from what I can tell, it shouldn't take too long to make one ornament, and I only have to make about 5. So if, as long as I make about 1.5 a week up until Christmas, I'll get it done. At the same time, what came this morning is my yarn from Jamie of Make One Yarns. And I ordered 3 of the different colors that she had in her, where is it? 100% organic cotton. This is her cotton convertible base. And it's organic cotton, and I figured Watson would look great in it. And I kind of want to make him a crazy sweater. Like, I don't know if I need all of this yarn, but these skeins are 50 grams each, 164 yards each, and I don't know, maybe I can just make it out of 1 or 2. If it's just 2, I'll probably take the 2 most masculine colors. Well, those, no. Okay, maybe those 2. Yeah, those 2. Even those are very girly. But I don't care. They look cool together. Cool. And I'm going to knit him a sweater out of this. So I in my head, I was thinking, oh, well, I'll just do a striping sweater. And then since I was on her site, she was having a sale. And I kind of fell down the rabbit hole when I saw this. This is on her Woodward Dream Cruise base. Colorway is Sunset. And this is a Michigan-sourced merino wool. And each mini skein here, or if you want to call them that, are 50 grams each, and they each have 230 yards in them. And I just could not get these. They look like a dreamsicle to me. So, well, this is called Dream Cruise, and the colorway is Sunset. Yeah, it looks like a sunset. Yes, it does. Oh, I just love this. And it is so scrunchy and soft and bouncy. I I think this is gonna have to be like something around my neck, even though I so desperately want to knit these into socks because I just feel like they would feel so heavenly on my feet. At the same time, I really, really want this by my face, like, and to just be able to do this all the time. So right now, don't know what I'm gonna knit with it, but that's what I'm daydreaming about. And finally, because I was feeling down and blue, I kind of went to the Holly Press Fibers website one night, a couple nights after everything happened, and I happened to see this mini set. It's called Wuv, Twoo Wuv, you know, from The Princess Bride. And I just had to get it. Isn't that gorgeous? Very sophisticated colors. This one almost looks like a candy cane. At least on the screen it does, in real life it doesn't. And then it's got this almost mauve one here. That looks, it's coming up more red. I would say it's more like mulberry wine, not like cherry red, as I feel like it's coming up, you know. Look at those two together. Oh, I just love it. So each mini skein is 92 yards, and it's 75% superwash and 25% nylon. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I've got 92 times 5. I mean, okay, I know that's not 100, but I don't know. It's close to 500 yards. It's close. We'll just round up to 500. Isn't that awesome? And it wasn't it wasn't expensive either. That's what made me really happy. So then the last thing, obviously, that I have is that I've talked about like 14,000 times already, is my minis for my swap. So those are ready to start being open tomorrow. I cannot wait. So then the last thing I kind of want to talk about is, what do we want to do for the new year? We talked last episode about how I struggle following through with a lot of things, and I'm kind of tired of that. And I want to make a commitment to work through all of my whips and really work on stash down next year. And so I was kind of wondering if we could do something called a whip stash down thing throughout the year. I could look to see if I could get some prizes. I'm horrible about giving out prizes. Holy cow, am I horrible at it. But I want to, so maybe I could do that. Tell me what you guys think. Leave comments below. Tell me what you think about that. Looking to do that. And then also, I posted on Instagram for those who would like to do pen pals, because I want to kind of bring things back from the technology age, feeling a little disconnected. And ironically, Jamie from Make One Yarns is these guys here, Make One Yarns. Jamie and I got partnered up to be in my first round of pen pals. I'm super excited about that. I think I've got about 10 or 12 people who have signed up to do that through Instagram. So if you guys would like to join in, I don't see why this has to be like, oh, you have to sign up by a certain time in order to get a pen pal. I don't see why it can't be a revolving thing. Or is that what it's called? Revolving, or cyclical, or whatever you want to call it. Ongoing. And so if you'd like to be involved in a pen pal writing project, swap, what have you, please comment below, and I can hook you up with somebody. It might even be me, and we can start, coming back to gentler, slower times. I love that idea, a gentler, slower way of life, especially in this time of struggle and strife, like just, bringing us back down to basics and to peace, if you will, a time of hygge. I need to record my audio podcast again. I haven't done that in so long, so we'll see about that as well. But if you'd like to comment below, I would love to hear from you. And in the meantime, I want, if I don't record again before Christmas, which I'm hoping I will, but if I don't, have a happy holiday, a Merry Christmas, a Happy New Year, and to remember to knit what you love and love what you knit. Ta-ta for now, guys.